disgusting settlers are not even safe for. I mean, even the IDF is not safe. So this is what it's doing, right? The Zionism, it's eating itself. The settlers beating the fucking IDF in the West Bank. So if they can do this to the IDF, can you imagine what kind of shit that they do to the Palestinians?
Yeah. Well, I think a couple of IDF soldiers went and told the Haaretz that they were ordered to shoot Palestinians when they were going to get food, even though they weren't armed or anything like that. And we're also hearing that they're putting drugs inside of the food.
Yep, they're doing a whole bunch of shit, man. It's just, it's sad. I wish they wouldn't, they wouldn't be, hey, what's up, Pearl, everybody, welcome, you guys want to come on up? It's up to you, just unmute your mic, sweet. DJ, and then relate to the whole Iran thing, we're going to see what happens with the Iran. The Iranian foreign minister came out. He told Trump he's going to have to tone it down to, if you want to engage in a nuclear conversation about the nuclear program. Otherwise, you can go F off. And this is what I don't get, right? Anybody that the West doesn't like or West has a problem with, they sort of like spread this narrative that this country is a terrorist, this country is a terrorist, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's crazy. So that's what it is. But anyways, so the settlers' crimes, I mean, it involves a whole bunch of shit, you guys will, I'll put the video in the chat. Israeli settlers even, hey, what's up, Goita, long time no talk, assalamualaikum. The kind of crimes that the Israeli settlers do in the West Bank, right? Elbowing an elderly lady, coming in, taking over the property, taking over people's houses, sheep, dogs, cats. They treat animals like shit, right? They into bestiality. They even have, Israeli settler going around raping cats. Right, the beheading the cats, literally burning it alive, and throwing the cats at the ceiling of the building, and they have the cat kicking contest. These kids. Hey, what's up, Ace and everybody? If you guys want to come on up, unmute and come on up.
You hear that there's reports of the ceasefire breaking? And just 20 minutes ago, there's reports of the defense missile system, the Raiders going off into West Tehran. 20 minutes ago. Of course.
Really?
Of course. Well, it's just happening, so I don't know if it's been confirmed, but 20 minutes ago, I think someone was also talking about it just now. I saw the videos, so let's see. I think I heard something about Israel was telling the Iranians to give them their uranium. I thought the United States of America destroyed their uranium. So
No, they didn't. But Amir,
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But Amir, remember you said that whenever there's a court date coming up, he does something. So Monday he has a court date, and the court refused to give him an extension. If this attack is legit, your theory is verified.
But Ace, did you see that report? Trump demands that the court case should be closed against Netanyahu. Did you see that?
Yep, I saw that. Interesting.
You know
this
what?
Harris report is...
He runs the world. He thinks he runs the entire world.
Yeah. This Harris reports on IDF ordering its soldiers to kill Palestinians. I think that seems to be very true, and that has hit Israel very badly. Now they have announced that they will investigate this matter, but they have never investigated any of the matters against IDF. No charges against IDF have ever been properly investigated and found anyone guilty. If you remember the Hind Rajab case, is still being investigated after nearly 15 months of that incident happening. So IDF is investigating itself it's a joke actually. I believe there are up to 500 civilians, 8 have been killed while trying to get aid. And the BBC has a very nice article on that. What BBC says is that these civilians are supposed to see, previously they had about 400 aid distribution centers spread all over Gaza when the UN was monitoring it, when the UN was handling it. Now I believe they have less than half a dozen aid centers. And these are all aid centers where the civilians have been ordered not to come in. That is, these are military zones. And if any civilian comes in, by mistake also, he can be shot at. That's the rule that Israel has over those areas, military zones. They are called military zones. And all these aid centers are now set up in the military zones, and the civilians are asked to walk into the military zones and get the aid. And sometimes they have to walk up to 5 to 10 kilometers to come and get the aid. And since they are in the military zones, those who are manning the crowd, they carry weapons and they use it. Yesterday somebody said that, there's a controversy on the Haaretz report. Somebody said that the Hebrew version of Haaretz says that the soldiers were asked to shoot towards the Palestinians. But the point is, even if you shoot towards the Palestinians, it's like shooting at the Palestinians. So these are all things that are happening over there. So the aid and the UN has also come out strongly and said that we also distributed food, but we did not have to use arms and ammunition to control the crowds. So why does Israel need to control the crowds using arms and ammunition? Which is a valid point, actually. Which is a valid point. Yes, they are savages. Goes without saying. Did you also see that?
Have you seen it? They're putting opioids in the aid affairs. Have you seen that as well?
No,
I haven't seen that article. I've heard of it, but can you give me a link, Teddy?
Yes.
I saw it on Twitter, but I didn't see any article. Yes, you can share.
Yeah. If anybody want to come on up, you guys are welcome to come on up. There's, let's see, what do we have today to talk about? The settlement attack. What did you say?
Israel attacking Iran right now?
I don't know if that's true. We're gonna have to wait and see if they did do that,
I just said just got a link in the chat about the opioid being discovered in the aid in Gaza.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Teddy.
So they're lacing the flour. It looks like flour. It's a poster of someone holding flour. And then the pills are in the flour.
It's disgusting, really. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
There's the explosions. I'm seeing the video right now, the Iran thing. There are explosions in Iran. I don't know if it's a false flag or.
Is it today? 28. It's today the day that anonymous group said there was going to be an attack on some country.
That's very specific.
Yeah, they had a countdown. They literally had a countdown.
Today's the 27th. Well, for me, for you, it's probably.
Well, it's the 28th, my time,
Yeah.
But they literally had a countdown to say there's going to be an attack.
On what country?
They said America. I don't know if they said. I think they said America, maybe, but
Oh, Iran?
actually no. The anonymous. The anonymous.
Florida. Make it Florida. Your mom.
Yeah, I did actually read somewhere about Iran actually informed America of some attack. Iran had intel on an attack happening within America.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yes. What in DC? Go ahead, Faith.
No. You go ahead, Edward. If you have the details, share it. I read.
Yeah. So Iran came out and warned the U.S. about an impending attack on a possible bomb attack on Washington, D.C. That was a few days ago, like maybe 2 days ago, 3 days ago. And they came out just to make sure that the U.S. knows that it's not them that's doing it. And I think they gave details, and they said that it's Zionist tied. That's what Iran said.
Yeah, I pointed this out I think after the end of the Iran war, a bunch of Zionists had talked about bombing Washington.
Did you see the video of that guy?
Oh, yeah, Sam, you did. And I did hear that. I did hear that.
Jews.
Here we go again. Devin.
Oh, geez.
Can I say that?
This guy come up here, bro. Who brings you up here?
Amir, you have a sense that...
Devin, get the fuck out of my stage. Get off my fucking stage, bitch. Get lost. Son of a bitch. Get lost.
Amir, you have a sense so that anybody could come up.
Yeah, I turned it up so he can have to raise his hand. Go fuck you.
Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Guys, assalamu alaikum, Teddy.
Walaikum assalam.
That Devin guy just said the same thing over and over again. It's like he's on repeat.
It's funny, Amir just like, get up, like he's shooing away a fly or an ant or something, or a cockroach. Get up.
That is a fly, bro. That is a fucking fly. Every 2 seconds, I guess you want to hate the Jews. Like, bro, what are you on about? You're not even Jewish.
So this attack, quadcopters, 2 of them, got intercepted by Iran's air defense. I don't know what that means per se. Ace brought it up. It just happened like a half an hour ago.
So, I don't know, Edward, did you hear about foreign minister of Iran told Trump, stay in your lane, have respect Khamenei, otherwise, if you want to talk about the nuclear thing, otherwise...
No, but that would make sense. Respect us, respect our leader, and then we could talk, which is should be a statement that doesn't need to be made. But when it comes to brown people, you have to make this statement to white people. No offense to white people. I'm not racist against white people. I'm just saying.
I think the white people don't have self-respect.
Regarding the white and the brown thing, Edward, I was watching an interview of Jordan Peterson, and he says the Arabs don't deserve the oil wealth. The oil shouldn't be with the Arabs. Can you imagine?
Well, too bad. It is. And he was, so is he now an atheist because he was a Christian before?
No, this is the same guy. Jordan Peterson is the same guy that went on what is that, Jubilee or whatever, and it's one Christian versus 10 atheists, and then says he's an atheist. He was never a Christian, so they had to change the title, and he just got roasted by all 10 atheists.
Oh yeah, that's a young student, right? Yeah, I saw that.
JB, do you want to come on up?
So God gave the Arabs the oil. God gave the Jews Israel. God gave the Arabs oil. Unless you cherry pick what God gives to everybody.
JB, come on up, man. Come on up. Let's have a conversation instead of running away, man. Come on.
Who, should we?
JB has changed. He has changed a little bit of his position. He doesn't agree with certain things and relate to Israel. Let's hear you out. Come on, man. Instead of like sitting in the audience, right? I know, look, people have told me what you have said in healthy debates. You are calling out your own people. No, not today? Okay, maybe next time.
Do you want to know a story from the Bible?
Oh no, there goes my
That's
IQ.
okay. It's okay, Fatima.
No, it's
There
about
goes my
Israel,
IQ.
No, you
bro.
said it earlier. We heard you. So
It's about Israel.
No, you
It's
said
about
it earlier.
Jacob.
Don't say it again. You said it earlier. Thank you.
Can I?
No, we know God gave us it.
Leave it.
No, I just
We're
want to
not
make
gonna pull out the words.
Let her say her story. Let her say her story.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me
I have
something. Let me tell you something. Okay, let me tell you something. You know, Abraham, he had like no Isaac. Isaac is the father of Israel, right? Jacob. But you know, they had twins, Esau and Jacob. So Esau was the oldest twin, and the oldest twin was promised the land that was promised to Abraham and the covenant. You want to know something? You want to know what Jacob did? Jacob stole his birthday because his brother Esau was hungry. So his fat little hungry brother said okay, Israel, Jacob, and he gave it to him. Then Abraham asked him to do something. I thought it was something with food, and then he will get the blessing. So Esau went outside, and Jacob heard that. So Jacob quickly did the same thing and went to Isaac, but Isaac was old and blind, and he came in the room, and then Isaac wanted to feel his hand to know if it was really Jacob or Israel, and he believed him. So Israel was from the start already a thief. He stole the land that was promised to Esau. I'm not kidding. This is in the Bible.
Really? It's in the Bible.
Yeah, so Israel, Jacob had a twin
I'm being
brother.
sarcastic. I mean,
No, this
saying
is not
it's in
sarcastic.
the Bible.
This is not
No,
sarcastic.
So,
But Fatima, I mean, I think you got most of the story right, but not completely. But we know that's in the Bible. That was like, you know, he felt his arm, and his arm was not hairy like his brother's arm, and so he put hair on it or something. I don't know. But the story, I mean, that's in the Bible. It's a common story that people talk about.
No, it's just funny because you see what they do now. Israel has always been a thief. Jacob was always deceiving from the start.
So, Emir, Monday, Netanyahu's trial commences again.
yep, that's what I'm saying. Every time there's a trial, he goes crazy before he does some sort of attack. This is what I've observed, and this is what's happening right now. And this is what some of the people on Twitter Spaces agree with this.
But Edward, did you see that news that Trump wants all the cases against Netanyahu be withdrawn? The court
He
cases should
can't,
be closed?
Brother Fayaz, because of the Attorney General, and it's for the Israeli people to decide, not for Trump.
Yeah, I know that, but he makes these statements, funny statements,
He's the idiot, man.
Yeah, but we shouldn't underestimate the power of an American president's comments when it comes to another country like that. It just empowers the people in Israel to do things that because from what I understand, Netanyahu is submitting a report to the president, and the president is supposed to, and this is by Israeli laws, is either to accept or decline, reject or decline the proposal. It doesn't mean that the president makes a decision. He just makes a decision only that this can be considered, and then it goes to the court for consideration. So the recommendation of the president would be what Netanyahu needs, and if he gets that, then he could take it to the court. We don't know what would happen in the court if they would decide to, minimize his crimes or his indictments. There's a pathway to
That was right. Eagle said they're offended by Trump's statement because he's a criminal. You see what I'm saying? And he's a criminal to the Israelis. He's probably not a criminal to the American president, but he's a criminal to the Israelis.
Yep.
And they want to bring him to justice.
But Eagle is the president of Israel. Isn't he like the lapdog of Netanyahu? That's the only thing that concerns me.
Did you guys read that news a day ago that one of the Cyprus ministers, government minister from Cyprus, he has now raised an alarm that Israelis are buying land in Cyprus in big numbers. There are about 70,000 Israelis right now in Cyprus, and he is afraid that they are going to occupy the land, and he has been vocal about it. His name is Stefano. I think he's an opposition
Yeah, I did
leader.
hear that. I did hear that on TikTok, but I couldn't find any articles about it.
I saw that says 2021 actually, and Bibi was very instrumental in it and encouraging property.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while.
I think they're doing that in Thailand too, to be honest with you.
They're doing that in India too. We have a state called Himachal and another state called Sikkim. The Himachal is in the Himalaya, in the mountains, and at any given time there are a few villages over there which are awash with Israelis, and they are kind of leasing out properties, and basically these are all dens for drugs. So these Israelis bring drugs and they do drugs over there. And there are areas within Himachal where Indians cannot go. Literally they cannot go because the whole area is kind of occupied by them already. So this is raising alarm bells. And Thailand recently said that there's a particular region of Thailand, in the north of Thailand, where Israelis are, in big numbers. I think up to 100,000 over there. And they are buying a property, they are occupying, and the thing is, they do not pay the restaurants that are run by the domestic people, locals. So there's always some skirmish over there. So in fact, Thai government called the ambassador of Israel and told them that they will have to restrict the visas or impose new conditions to issue visas to Israelis if the Israelis continue to do these things, illegal things in Thailand. This happened a few months ago.
You know what cities or towns in Thailand?
I read it. I'll let me access if I can find it. I'll just get back.
I'd be interested because sex trafficking is really big in Thailand.
Yeah.
Especially underage.
In fact, in Bangkok, I believe they refused to pay the lady boys after getting their service, and that blew up. The Israelis refused to pay.
Yeah, I read stories. You don't want to mess with the Thai. Even the women. I read that like on YouTube. I was following. But actually, this American. British. He was British, older man. He was an expat in Thailand for like 40 years, and he had multiple bars. We could bars so that he had women that you could rent and everything. So he did the whole thing. And he was, and his whole channel was telling about the various stories, and a lot of the stories were men from the West come and, go to the bar, and sometimes they'll make fun of a girl, or, not treat her respectfully according to Thai culture. And then next thing you know, the girls will corner the guy and beat the shit out of him outside when he leaves. This is pretty common in Thailand. They don't play around.
No, they don't. They don't let you mess around. I mean, I've been to Thailand, Edward, and in the night time when you walk across these streets, the famous streets, the streets that are famous for these things. I mean, you really can feel scared, Even if you're simply walking across the street, anytime a brawl can get started. People will start running, hitting. So it's really not, if people looking for service alone are supposed to go there. If you're just going for a walk in the night, that's not the area where you should go.
Yeah, I haven't been. I would love to visit Thailand, actually. It sounds like a very,
It has beautiful beaches,
Yeah.
Really nice beaches, greenery and so on.
Beaches or beaches first?
When it comes to phrase, I think beach, yeah.
Yeah. My pronunciation is... Ask Ariel.
Yeah, very clear.
And so is Teddy's pronunciation different.
Yeah, there's nice beaches on the beach.
Oh, they have like scuba diving and snorkel diving, whatever it's called. They have a lot when it comes to nature. And we're like subtropical, so never really been to a subtropical area. Florida, I think, is supposed to be subtropical, but I think that's on the outer edge.
I do want to add this as well. So we have the U.S. talks with Pakistan on durable peace between Israel and Iran. About this because Pakistan has the nuclear, right? They did give a threat to Israel if they were to use nuclear on Iran, or they will nuke Israel. By the way, Israel is a teeny bitty place. I don't know. It'd be fairly easy for any country to nuke Israel.
Yeah, and the thing the Palestinians don't have to worry about is Israel using nukes on them because it's so close to everyone killing their own people.
Daniel is here. Daniel, what do you think? The settlers are attacking their own soldiers, so Zionism is eating itself. Now it's starting in the West Bank, beating the IDF, slashing their tires. Isn't that crazy?
And Daniel hasn't been around for a while. I'll answer for Daniel. Yeah, I'll answer for Daniel. Daniel would say, Amir, what are settlers? Define settlers first.
There you go. It's mentioned the times of Israel. Who are the settlers? Who are mentioned in times of Israel?
Anything you say to the guy is not true. He tells you what's actually true is true.
And then
Even the name of the place in Thailand is Pai, P-A-I-Pai. I've shared that article in the chat. P-A-I.
Hold on, let me check GPT real quick.
This morning they were really mad at the Jews in New York City. They called them traitors.
Who? For why? Because Mamdani won? Is that what?
Yeah, because Mamdani is the Democratic nominee to go for mayor.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was so mad. I went into the room, but I lowered the volume because I hate all the voices, right? I'm sure they were pissing me out. I hate that. What's his name? Tricky sounds like someone put something down his vocal cord, sounding like that.
He's just so good.
It just sounds horrible.
It's funny that when you look at his photo, you can actually, he's got a necklace on, and you can actually see how hanging down, like how much his chin hangs down. Like, that's not right.
Oh, wow.
Did you put his picture up?
No, it's not his picture. You can see he hasn't realised. You can see
I think I have his picture.
you can see his chin like in the when he's got his necklace on, right? That's the even the chains are very big.
Yeah, they were so mad. They were just so mad this morning. I went in the thing and just started, oh, why you so mad? Like, come on, man. Why can't a Muslim be mayor? What's wrong with a Muslim being mayor? They're like, fuck New York City. I said, first of all, New York City is like the most populated city in the United States. It's actually the most powerful city in the United States. Second is Los Angeles. Why are you hating on New York City? Listen, we do what we want to do here. If we feel Mandami would be a good mayor, he's going to be mayor. Stop it. Don't you worry about us.
Who said that?
Over here just minding our business.
Who said
I was
that?
in Shuki's room this morning. Yeah, like they were saying that the.
Why are you in Shuki's room? Shuki of all people?
No, I just saw the title. I just muted.
Did he sing the song to you?
No, I don't go up on the panel. I was just trolling them on the public thing.
So Pay is not known for sex trafficking. It's actually known for its relaxed expat, sort of like party vibe. But on the border there, it's known for forcing sex trafficking on what they call the hill tribes. So that's that's interesting. But I maybe they moved to this area, this town. It's a city or a town to be more away from or more secluded from the rest of the cities and main Thailand area. It's supposed to be a very nice town.
So, hey, what's up, Ray? Welcome, and what's up, Josh?
It was good.
Relate to, I don't think he would want to start a war again. I mean, would he violate the ceasefire? Because you're messing with a sovereign nation. You're not messing with, the resistant forces or whatnot. I don't know. Would he? Or could he?
No, you're talking about Netanyahu?
Yeah. Would he attack? Would he violate the ceasefire?
At this point in time, Amir, he doesn't care about Israel or the Israelis or anything. He needs to survive. So.
No, I know, but in relate to Iran, it's a sovereign nation. Iran is capable of shooting rockets. If they keep on shooting missiles, Israel, another 500 or 1,000 missiles will be finished.
Yeah, but then the missiles will be replenished by the US. So there is a report that Israel incurred a total loss of, they estimate that the total loss that Israel incurred in terms of the hit on the buildings and so on is about $3 billion. So, but that does not include the weapons, the munitions and the weapons and the bombs, because they were literally given free of cost to Israel. So they do not even take that into consideration. So so basically they have no, they don't have to hesitate about spending their weapons because they are getting it literally free of cost.
I mean that's why Trump doesn't want it. It cost. They spent $800 million in that missile in 12 days.
Yeah,
so Trump doesn't want to give them any more missile and any more bad missile.
No more.
800 million in 12 days. That's crazy.
Wednesday, that's why your man Mamdani is being opposed because he's vociferous against Israel against arms and aid being given to Israel.
He's also a Shia, right?
Yeah, I know.
So I guess just by default, I guess he's supposed to be wrong.
Who? Mamdani?
Well, yeah, he's a Shia.
I don't. Okay, I don't know if he supports. Yeah, I know he's a Shia. His father is a Shia. His mother is a Hindu from India, and I think he practices Shia Islam. Okay, and I admire him, man. I mean, I admire Iran. The only Muslim country today that I admire is Iran, even though I am not Shia. And and I admire Mamdani.
I do too. So he has a good chance of winning. If you look at the stats, since 1967, New York City only had 2 Republican mayors. So he has a really good chance of winning. If they're going to do a lot of and yeah, I mean, there's a Jewish population there, but it's not all. They make it seem as if they're all of New York City. I mean, New York City is 8.8 million, and they don't hold the majority in New York City. They don't. They pretend like they do, but they don't.
But the Zionist lobby is really petrified that this guy will become the mayor. So they are now trying to get, this Jewish billionaire, Bill Ackman. They want him to run for mayor now because they don't think that the present mayor, Eric Adams, who is also running as an independent, he will be able to beat Mamdani. So.
Yeah, thank you very much, Christina. We definitely appreciate you at Debate Games, and so I just wanted to put that out there. Someone else has a mic over there. Oh, my girl Lauren, there she, all right, and my girl Lauren. Shout out to my girl Lauren, guys. Shout out to Lauren. Yo, no, that's my girl. So once again,
And Bernie Sanders.
But they're trying to throw so many things at him now. Yesterday I was reading in a tweet. Somebody was saying that the process of his, naturalization into U.S. citizenship was faulty. So he should be expelled from the U.S. A lot of things are being thrown at him. Yeah.
If that was the case, then she couldn't have been a representative of a district in Queens.
But
They check that all out before he becomes a representative.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, but these people just want to spread.
The thing is that like they keep on like he's Muslim. He's this. Dude, I don't think they realize how many Muslims are in New York City. Really don't think that. So them saying, "Oh, he's Muslims," and try to make it as if it's the bad thing. We mostly grew up with Muslims. Most of the candy stores are owned by Muslims.
You're lost in the. You're just like the lost.
Yo, Aki, give me a bacon, egg, and cheese. Yo, Aki, give me my sandwich. Yo, Aki, how's your day? You know? So they're making it seem as if we're supposed to be scared of Muslims. We're not. The mainstream media don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's what they do. They're stuck on like 20 years ago. Keep on being Islamophobic. Look at the stats. Google how many Muslims are in New York City.
Just to respond to Igal, who has written that Mamdani is opposed to the existence of Israel. No, Mamdani, I heard his speech in the debate. He says that he is not against the existence of Israel as a state, but he is against what Israel does to the population of Palestine, to the Palestinians. He is also against U.S. blindly supporting Israel in all its wars. He is also against U.S. money being sent to Israel without conditions and unlimited quantities of money being sent to Israel. He is also against, I believe, New York City The contribution of New York City in the total aid that went to Israel is about $60 million. There was a video where I heard him say
And we got school districts that can't afford freaking computers for their kids, and we giving a fucking foreign country money. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Wednesday, Israeli children have free education, free systems. And this is for the money that you people send.
Ego. No money. You guys don't deserve it. And the thing is, it's what they don't understand. It's not a right thing. People on the left and people on the right. Plenty of Americans feel this way. We don't want to give you any money. We need to be selfish. We should have a right to be selfish. It's our money. It's our money. We think of ourselves right now. We have inflation going on. Failing education system in America. An infrastructure that's crumbling. We need to take care of America.
Homelessness issue that you have. It's unbelievable. It's one of the worst in the world. Wednesday, I was reading an article about homelessness in general throughout the world, and I was seeing that China almost has no homelessness. Okay, almost nil. In Cuba, let's compare Cuba. The homeless population, homeless in the sense of people living on the sidewalks, not on. They don't even have a tent, they're just living on the sidewalks. The total population that lives on the sidewalks in Cuba is just about 5%. Okay? And that is supposed to be a communist poor country. Whereas in the US it's much higher. The number is much higher than that.
I think it's time for America to be selfish. I think it's time for America. It's pretty high. It's pretty high. It's also because we don't have a very good mental health system. A lot of those people who are homeless have mental health issues. So we need to start thinking about ourselves and taking care of our country. Fixing our education system. That's on us.
Please don't stop.
We can't just be the police alone.
In January, we had roughly about 771,000, and 480 people were experiencing homelessness on a single night, up to 18.1 from the previous year. That equates to about 23 out of every 10,000 Americans, or roughly 0.23% of national population.
It's crazy. 18% increase in 1 year. That's quite rough.
So we got families and children saw especially steep increases. Child homelessness surged by 33%, and family homelessness rose by nearly 40%. Veteran homelessness, however, declined by around 8%, continuing a longer-term downward trend. The increase from 2023 to 2024 plus says 18% following a 12% rise the previous year. And homelessness per 1,000 people is 2.3 per 1,000 in 2024, up from 1.75 in 2022. These are so 2.3 people per 1,000 people in 2024. They're homeless.
That's so crazy. That's wow.
So numbers are the total percentage. It says 0.23% of Americans are homeless on a single night. So it's not that high though. I think it's like, because at one point it says 0.23% of Americans on a single night. tribunal for slaying top military figures, right? U.S. talks to Pakistan that we already covered. Iran, FM, non-cooperation with the UN nuclear watchdog is now law. So they passed a law inside Iran that they're not going to cooperate with the UN or the IAEA or any of these organizations that are in bed with Zionist entity because they cannot be trusted. Thanks to these entities, there's I think more than 14 of their nuclear scientists were assassinated because they released out the names. Israel kills over 100 in Gaza as Iran rules out U.S. Nuclear talks. So Tehran says Azerbaijan denies allowing Israeli use of airspace. So Azerbaijan is not allowing the Israelis to use their airspace. That's interesting.
No, Amir, actually Iran accused Azerbaijan of allowing the Israeli fighter jets to use its airspace to hit Tehran. So they said an independent investigation has to be carried out to find out if Azerbaijan allowed Iran to use Israel to use airspace. So that's what the news is actually.
Yeah, but the title of my article, it says that Iran says Baku denies letting Israel use. Okay, so they did accuse, but then I guess Azerbaijan came out and they denied it, right? They're like, nope, we're not allowing that.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Okay, good. China hosts Iran-Russia defense minister against a backdrop of turmoil. So I guess China and Russia are going to get involved. The 26 people have been arrested in Iran over collaborating with Israel. I think they've already executed some of them for spying on, spying on Iran for Israel.
Good.
Hey, what's up? How do you say your name? Let me see. Is it Nasi?
Yes, Nasi. Yeah.
Nasi, okay, cool.
Hello, brothers. Salam alaikum. These spies, it's more than something a spy. They make quadcopters. 70% of the scientists and the generals who's been terrored, they have been killed by these quadcopters. They make quadcopters, these little drones, I don't know what you call them in English, but we call them quadcopters. They make these quadcopters inside their homes, and then they operate them to terror our generals and scientists. That's why we kill them. We have told them, if we catch you, we kill you in 2-3 days. It doesn't take long because now we are in a war situation. Everything goes much faster. So there are many. Traitors, yes, we have. I think more than 5,000, 10,000 of them are still in Iran. But we're going to catch them, we're going to break their bones, and then we're going to kill them. Not easy. First, we break their bones to take out their information, and then when the information is out, then we kill them. That's what I wanted to tell you guys.
Sorry, Sina, I have a question for you. Those traitors, are they like Persians, or they maybe Azaris, or Turks, or maybe from Khuzestan, or Baluchistan?
There are all kinds of them, brother. It's not a matter of the language or the nationality, even many of them from Afghanistan, unfortunately.
Why would they do that? Like, what would they achieve? Like giving lots of money?
Yeah, money, daydreamers of having a good life in West, They promised them to give them the nationality, the citizenship of the US, England, this and that, But many of them are unfortunately from Afghanistan. We've captured about more than 200 of Afghanistan citizens in the last 10 days. And they had entered Iran 2 years ago, brother. They were trained by Iranian agents inside Afghanistan because Azerbaijan has a very large embassy in Afghanistan some few years ago. And in that large embassy, they have Mossad agents. They have hired many of Afghani agents, I don't know what you call them, agents or cohorts, I don't know what you call them. They have paid them good money. They have sent them into Iran 2-3 years ago, and more than 200 of them are Afghani now. But we have Persians, we have Kurds, we have from Khuzestan, everywhere. It's actually not about a specific ethnic groups or something. Some of them Iranians, some of them from Afghanistan, and very few of them from Germany, from Australia, from France, very few of them. Those, the leader ones, the boss ones, the head ones are from Europe, Germany, France, Australia. One of the German guys was captured about 6 days ago or something like that. He was filming the very special military sites, and they captured him. And he was a Jew. He was a German Jew with 2 passports, Israeli passport and a German passport. And now I think no bones of him is still healthy. We kill him. We hang him up inside the city to show what we do with the traitors, with the enemies, because they killed our children. 62 women and children were killed in this 12 days of war. And I want to tell you that more than 20 of those children, they were underage, they were under 16. They were champions of Taekwondo, Kyokushin, Karate, Kung Fu, and they had medals from Asia, from Europe, from the world medals. They were assassinated by quadricopters, brother.
So sorry about that. So sorry to hear about that. But when you just mentioned that in Iran there's probably like 10,000 traitors, don't you think like this is the Iranian intelligence? I think it's called the Ittalaat, are not doing their job very well.
They are.
That's an army. That's an army of spies.
Yeah.
It's an army. 10,000 is not a normal number.
Yeah, it is. But let me explain you what, brother. We are alone, and at least 50 countries, which I can name for you. 50 countries are supporting our enemy with all minds. With money, with information, with satellite. So how can we stand up alone, brother? Our Ittalaat is working really good, brother. If it was any other country, it would break up from inside in the first day. Believe me. Think if Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan, Egypt, plus 28 European countries, plus Turkey, plus India, and the US are working on this, brother. In the last project they had, it was 3 years ago, which was called Woman Life Freedom. That was a project set up by 52 countries, brother. We are only 85 million. Now, guess what?
Serena, you just accused mostly like Arab countries are against Iran. Do you have governments? No, I believe the governments have good relations with the Iranian government and they supported them in this war.
No, brother, it was just by a speech. Their aerospace was helping the U.S. All of them. All of them. Even Iraq, brother. Even Iraq. I'm not talking about people.
Hani, let me add a point here. All the Arab countries like Jordan and UAE, they announced when the war started, they announced that they are closing down the airspace. But in spite of announcing that they are closing down the airspace, they allowed Israeli warplanes to fly over them. They flew over UAE, they flew over Jordan and so on. And Jordan intercepted up to 200 missiles sent by Iran towards Israel. So who are these people helping really? Tell me. They are helping. I mean, they may make statements because their public is against what the government is doing. Their public is with Iranians, okay? But the governments are standing with Israel. The king of Jordan stands with Israel, literally. I don't know if you know, the Morocco's king, his security detail is completely made up of Israelis. Mossad manages his security. Can you believe this? And there's a nice interview by a politician from UAE. He says in that interview that we know that we are being covered. You think we are covered, but that's the only way we can avoid a situation like the one that has happened to Libya, like the one that happened to Iraq, where now US has a base. That US has set up a base forcefully and it occupies the base, and Iraq cannot do anything. So this he said in Qatar. Sorry, not UAE. He's a Qatari politician. He said if we did, when US asked us for a base, if we had denied US the permission for a base, US would still have gone ahead and created the base by destroying our country. That's why we had to accept it. So it's a combination of threat and selfish motives that drives these Arab nations to join hands with the Zionist state. This is the reality.
Yeah, and another thing, brother Fayaz, they are occupied, brother Honey. I mean, those countries who have an army base of the US, they are occupied by the US. They can't decide over what they want, you know? That's the problem. They have capitulation rule, which means that those governments have no information what the US is doing in those army bases. Even Germany, even Japan, even South Korea. When you give an army base to the US in your soil, it means that your soil is occupied by the US and your government is just a puppet.
Okay, but
As we
see, I want to ask a question, but don't get me wrong. We'll talk politics, and we'll talk about real facts. Don't you see that the Arabs would look at Iran as an occupier of Khuzestan, which was an independent state recognized by the League of Nations?
No. When was it an independent state? When
1925.
No, it's wrong information.
It's not wrong. It's recognized by the League of Nations.
Brother, we have maps. Even Bahrain was a part of Iran until 46 years ago.
Bahrain is a different story. I know, but Bahrain, it was under...
Khuzestan has been inside Iran for the last 5,000 years, brother. We have maps from 2,500 years ago. By now, Khuzestan has never been independent, brother.
In history, I'll tell you something. In history, it used to be called Elam. This is one of the Sumerian. It was Elam next to Sumeria, and Elam was never...
5,000 years ago, it was all Persian Empire. It was all Parthian Empire.
Before that,
It was called Iran. Iran, not Iran.
Iran. It was called Iran.
Iran was 14,000 years ago. Now you talk about Khuzestan. Khuzestan has been named about 2,000 years ago. What are you talking about, man? Khuzestan has been part of Iran. Can you show me a map, brother? Can you show me a map from anywhere that Khuzestan has been independent? This is bullshit, man. You're missing gold, brother.
I want to put you now that
Put it there. You're missing gold. Khuzestan. Even now, wait, I'm talking from Iran, brother. Even now, I have been to Khuzestan for 2 years. I was working there. Even now in Khuzestan, the population is made up 2 races. The bigger race is Lor. Lor is an old Persian Iranian, which we call them Bakhtiyari. It's about 90% of the population of Khuzestan, and we have 10% of Arabic brothers. They are Shia Arabic brothers. They have been inside Iran for the last 5,000 years, even before Islam. They were Majus, and then they converted to Islam. Me, I know my history better, brother. Don't get misinformed by the Mossad media.
No.
Mossad media. I mean, this media, they say this is not Persian Gulf. I show you map from 3,000 years ago, brother.
It's called the Persian Gulf. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, but now they say no. It's Arabic code. So it's exactly what they say about Khuzestan, brother. Khuzestan has never been a country or independent. That is what they say about Kurdistan as well. When in the history did we have a country called Kurdistan or Balochistan?
Never. They were tribes.
So that is why I'm telling you. They want to break up. Iran was 4 times bigger than what it is now. And they just broke up through the history, brother. In the last 400 years, we lost about 70% of Iran. Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Armenistan, Kurdistan, a part of Afghanistan, a part of Turkey.
Are those people, the Arabs living in Kurdistan, are they allowed to teach their kids the Arabic language?
Of course, brother. They talk Arabic. They don't know Persian, brother. Because Arabic is the second language of Iranian people. Arabic is a holy language. It's the best language on earth, brother. Our Quran is Arabic. When we pray in Arabic, brother. You have to know that. Even me, I know some Arabic. In school, brother, first we learn Persian, and then Arabic, and then English. And English is not important.
Why the people of Kurdistan, they claim that they're living into
rich people, those who live in Holland, those who live in Denmark.
No, in Abadan, actually, some people in Abadan.
No, brother, people in Abadan, brother, they're living peacefully now in Muharram. Today is 2nd day of Muharram. I want you to look at the videos of Muharram about Arabic people in Khuzestan. In Khuzestan, if you live in Khuzestan, even if you are Persian, you have to know Arabic, brother. Why? Because many of the shops, stores, they are Arabs, and when you go inside their stores, they don't know Persian. You have to talk Arabic. That's it. And we respect that. Why? It's not because of Arabic race. It's because of Arabic language. Because what you know is that Persian is built up by Arabic. Before Quran, Persian had only 300 words. Now we have 2 million words. And all those words and the grammar is taken from Arabic. Our language is a new version of Arabic. Our alphabet is Arabic. And Arabic is the best language on earth with 12 millions of words. And we all know that since we were a little child, when we are 3 years old, and our mothers, our fathers, when they talk to us about praying, they teach us praying on Arabic. We never learn Quran by Khuzestan, Arabic people are getting killed and this and that. But you have to come down to Khuzestan by yourself, brother. Khuzestan, and even in Bushehr, and even in Hormozgan, in 3 continents, in 3 states, we have Arab people. Some of them Sunnis and some of them Shiis, and we have no problem with them. We have 2,500 Sunni mosques in Iran, brother. I know what they have been telling you. They have been telling you that Sunnis can't have any.
Really want to make it done. You got to get more Republicans like the Thomas Masseys, the Rand Pauls, the Chip Roys that actually talk about doing the right thing. You've got to get rid of Social Security and Medicare if you want to make things sustainable, because they're insolvent as it is. And like, yeah, with immigration, sure, it's a problem, but it's not our biggest one. It's a military-industrial complex, aging population, of Social Security and Medicare.
You should get rid of Medicare and what? Social Security? How do you get rid of it?
Give people,
how do you get rid of it?
Give people all the money they put in back.
Yeah, and then what?
Then we go to a free market principle.
Oh, hell no.
Like, healthcare was actually cheap before Medicare came in. Like, the way to solve the healthcare thing is insurance was never designed. It's there for catastrophic things, like you break your back, you get cancer, you need leg surgery, and you just use it for that. But the basic stuff, like a doctor visit, blood work, whatever, you pay cash for. And we have things like health savings account. Like my company has a high deductible plan, but we have a health savings account. Those things are great. I invest money into it. I grow it. It all grows tax-free, and the government doesn't get any of their hands on it. And for stuff like that, that is how you